Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Resident Evil 4, and with the Resident Evil 4 remake nearly here, let's jump back and check out the original game from way back in 2005. Does the original RE4 still hold up today? Let's find out. Resident Evil 4 is a third-person horror shooter that was so influential on video games it's kind of funny to try and give it an overview, but screw it, let's try. Leon from RE2 is now working for a government agency tasked to find Ashley, the president's daughter, who disappeared into some undescript town in Spain. Shortly after arriving, however, Leon finds the town is overrun with cultists injected with Los Plagas, basically a monster parasite, and Ashley has the injection as well. What follows is a bombastic race against time to save Ashley, stop the cult, and get out in one piece while avoiding getting chainsawed to the head. The story is absolute camp in the best way possible. Leon is equipped with one-liners out the wazoo, the villains include Rasputin and a Napoleon wannabe, and things just love to continue to escalate in goofiness and absurdity as the game progresses. The gameplay itself is a hybrid of the older tank control style RE games, but modernized with an over-the-shoulder camera and the focus on precision shooting. Leon still controls like a tank, that is to say there's no strafing here, and he can't move and shoot at the same time. However, aiming is more integral to the experience, as shooting enemies in different locations garners different reactions. Shoot someone in the arm and they'll drop their weapon, or in the head to open up for a counter kick, or try to kneecap them for a rad suplex. The game is designed around your slower and more deliberate movement and expects you to master it. The game is also led by an AI director, which basically means it adjusts the difficulty based on how well you are doing. This includes things from number of enemies, to ammo and health drops, and so on. It's a great system that ensures the game is always challenging enough without ever feeling like you're being kicked in the teeth. You will gather a whole host of weapons and items which you'll have to organize manually in a surprisingly engaging grid inventory system, and all the weapons feel unique and have different utility. All the weapons can be upgraded with the money you find by killing enemies or scavenging around, powering up things like damage, reload time, etc. For portions of the game, Ashley will be tagging you along, and you'll have to keep her safe by either staying out of danger or giving her places to hide. The zones you explore are diverse and always keep changing things up, with little to no backtracking required. You go from crazy villages to spooky castles to underground ruins to military bases, with RE4 always pushing you forward into new and interesting locales. I could say a lot more about RE4, but I'm going to stop as that's the general gist. This is a third-person horror shooter with some legacy controls, but plenty of story and set pieces to keep the flow brisk. So what do I like about Resident Evil 4? Well, this game's pacing is immaculate. The game has so many crazy ideas, and the hits just keep coming. From fighting a giant fish monster, a castle full of cultists, Mecha Napoleon, a crazy minecart ride, RE4 is breakneck in the best way. Additionally, the story is maximum schlock, and I am absolutely here for it. The story finally embracing that B-movie tone that mixes seriousness and cheese with the balance finally working. And lastly, the mixing and matching of weapons and weapon choices with the variety of enemies and situations the game puts you in makes builds feel deliberate and your choices empowering, paired with some fantastic point-based shooting that pulls it all together. When it comes to the bad, yeah, I'm gonna bring up the controls. It isn't the fact that you can't move and shoot. I actually like that it requires you to stand still. It's the lack of strafing that really makes the game feel old. Those unfamiliar with older RE games or games of this era probably find it difficult to acclimate when it comes to just moving around normally. Additionally, the story does have some weird plot holes that don't go anywhere, like Leon being infected. That doesn't actually pay off at all. To their ultimate plan making no sense since they seem to kill Ashley all the time in gameplay when they say they want her alive, and so on. And lastly, something I noticed on this replay was changing weapons is really cumbersome as you have to open the menu every time. A quick swap would do a lot for this game to make it feel more modern. As you know, rate games here on a 3-point scale, must play, maybe consider, don't bother. Despite some aged controls, RE4 holds up and then some. It's an insane roller coaster ride of action, horror, schlock, and gore that is one of the most entertaining video games I have ever played, and replayed again. If you've never tried it before, I highly suggest giving it a look, even if you've only played the remake. And if you have played it before, hey, isn't it about time for a replay? And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about RE4? I'm of the opinion it's one of the best games ever, and I'm really hoping that remake delivers, but I want to know what you think in the comments. But regardless, make sure you go out there and give it a play.